The Killers Among Us by Winslow Swan. Audiobook narrated and produced by Edward James Beesley. Killing came easily to Randy. He had been doing it for so long that he could barely keep count of all his victims. He relished in the moment when life was taken away by his hand, marvelled at the way his skill of cutting and slicing brought infinite pain, and always looked into the eyes as the light faded away. Yes, he was very good at what he did. He never once gave thought to being captured by the police. He had always been careful not to make his kills similar in any way. After all the studying that he had done, he made absolutely certain that there was no signature that could be attached to him. If he had ever been profiled by anyone, he was not aware of it. He was a master of makeup and disguise. He never appeared the same way twice whenever he went out to hunt.
"Let me see,"
he told his latest victim, a young man helplessly tied to a metal chair, his mouth taped shut, his eyes searching around the large room for a means of escape.
"You shall be number 50, if my calculations are correct. Maybe I should not count the first one, since it was more of an accident than a true murder."
The young man had been walking along the street, his thumb outstretched, waiting for a kind soul to drive him to his destination. Now, however, he knew that this was his final few moments on Earth.
"No, you're not very interested. I can see that,"
Randy said.
"You are more interested in what I plan to do to you. Don't worry. I am not interested in sex or violating your body in some unspeakable way. I do have one request for you. Please, keep your eyes open."
Randy bent down in front of the young man, lightly pushing a stray hair away from the face of his victim. He looked deeply into the young man's eyes and slowly began to push the knife into the belly, feeling the slight give of the skin and the warm blood covering his hand.
"Where to?"
The taxi had been almost God-sent. Randy had disposed of the body of his victim, cleaned himself and changed his clothes, and quietly made his way out of the abandoned building toward the corner. He had thought of taking a bus across town before heading toward the car park where his own mode of transportation awaited him. However, the taxicab was already at the corner, seeming to call out to him alone, even though there were plenty of people out this evening. Randy opened the door and climbed in.
"Where to?"
the driver asked.
"West 15th Street,
Randy instructed. The driver, one Maynard Krebs, according to the license, pulled away from the curb and headed toward Randy's destination.
"So, you visiting?"
the driver asked. A talkative driver, Randy thought. Usually, when Randy took a cab, he abhorred conversations with the driver. However, tonight was different. He actually felt like talking to someone. Not about the events of the night, but small bits of information that were of no consequence to anyone.
"Yes,"
Randy replied.
"I thought I might see what the city had to offer."
You here on business?"
"You could call it that,"
Randy said with a slight smile. A smile that he was sure the driver caught in the rear-view mirror.
"I sell insurance,"
he lied.
"Oh, must travel a lot,"
the driver said.
"Yes,"
Randy said, looking out of the window as the lights of the city began to fade.
"And family?"
"No, not really,"
Randy answered almost absently. He was growing weary of the conversation, losing himself in the thoughts of the earlier events of the evening. It wasn't until he saw the sign saying eastbound that he realized they were heading into the wrong direction.
"Excuse me,"
Randy said, a small alarm bell going off deep inside his head.
"Yeah, buddy?"
the driver asked in a slight menacing tone.
We seem to be going the wrong way,
Randy pointed out.
No,
The driver said.
we're not going the wrong way, but you are.
Randy thought of 100 ways to escape the cab. None of them seemed viable, for the locks on the doors were missing, something that he had not noticed. Trying for the handle, he discovered his growing horror that they were also missing. He, the killer, the one who had terrorized, was now the victim.
Don't worry,
The driver said.
the plane won't last long. I just want to look into your eyes when you die.
Randy began to laugh as his mind slowly spiraled deeper into madness. Epilogue. The butler did it.
Meet Jerry Connors, family man, businessman, psychopathic killer. The Convincer by Winslow Swan, now available on Amazon. Jerry Connors, he can convince you to do anything, even die.
Have you heard any good books lately? Audiobooks from Winslow Swan, now available on Spotify.
Hey guys, this is Crimson.
And this is Swan, and we'd love to know what you think of the stories.
Even if it's bad.
So leave us a comment.
Or give us a thumbs up.
Thank you.